This episode of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday is sponsored by Moonlight Monster Media, home of Dirt Road Tales of Horror.
From Moonlight Monster Media comes Dustin Grammer's debut as an author. Dirt Road Tales of Horror. Dirt Road Tales of Horror takes you on a terrifying ride through the southeastern United States, where ghosts, murderers, nightmares, and beasts lurk in the shadows, awaiting any brave or unfortunate enough to travel through their nocturnal domain. Prepare to be gripped by fear and fright should you dare decide to traverse these haunted and unhallowed roads.
Tonight, greetings, fellow travelers. As the week reaches its thrilling midpoint, we're broadcasting from the mountains of West Virginia. Embrace the spirit of adventure as you join us on this daring journey through the untamed wilderness of Let's Find Out with Diego. Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
It's time to find out with Diego. Let's go. Ooh, yeah.
On this episode of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, enter into the chaos of crossover thrashing. These true metalheads are the new standard of old school thrash. Whether you're headbanging to the relentless beats or getting massacred at the mosh pits, dive into the world where each song and every riff take you on a wild ride. Hail their untamed energy as they create unforgettable memories in the realm of thrash madness. All this plus more. Please welcome one of my newest favorite things that the metal gods have to offer. They are Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre. Josh, my friend, Macho Frost, welcome to Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys on here. As we were discussing on the pre-interview, I don't know sometimes how I find things. It's almost like a supernatural thing. It's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think I was on YouTube while I'm preparing notes for some other show I was doing, and I saw the album cover. I think now it's starting to recollect. I saw the album cover look pretty badass. I love the name of the band. I click on it. I was not disappointed. So, and I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, man, where I'm almost, for me, at least I've been listening to metal since I was 10 years old, or so 40 years later, I'm still listening.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, I like to say, sounds of sorts, but you guys make it your own, because I'm going back, I'm hearing SOD, Nuclear Assault, Old Style Exodus. It's a beautiful thing, man. So was that something you grew up with?
Oh, yeah. I grew up, like, listening to, like, I grew up when Municipal Waste was coming up. So, like, I fell in love with Municipal Waste and, like, Lich King and Gamma Bomb, and then, like, going back and discovering the old stuff like Cryptic Slaughter and MOD and Excel and, like, all the old crossover bands and, like, Metallica and Slayer. Like, we're very much, like, influenced by everything, like, that comes in our way. Like, one of our biggest influences is Gwar and, like, Ghoul, and, like, we love that stuff, and we're very big into, like, theatrics, and that helps, like, with our stage show. And then, like, musically, we'll pull from anything we think is cool. Like, it doesn't matter if it's metal or not. Like, we'll pull from rap, we'll pull from, like, whatever we think sounds good. Like, we're very much our own thing. Like, we don't try to emulate other people's styles. We are our own style, and, like, yeah, it's crossover thrash metal, but we're gonna do it our own way.
Yeah, just one of those things where, and I know that there's bands they'll take an influence, and sometimes they kind of sound the same as the bands they really grew up listening to.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say it, when it comes to Texas, it's more like a you hear it's baked in the cake a little bit, but it's not. That's not what you guys are. It's totally different, totally you. And with that being said, because I was going through the site, and you just had your first practice of the year, right?
Yeah, we did on Thursday.
How y'all feeling? You gonna kick 2025's ass or what?
Dude, we have a lot of cool stuff planned this year. So, like, we're excited to announce, like, when we can talk about it. We got some tours planned. We're going to play some new places. We're going to play with some really cool bands. We're writing our new album. We just started writing our next album, so this is gonna be a big year for us.
I could definitely see why with talking about with the creative process. Let me go back. I tend to go fast sometimes when I get excited
Oh,
about
no
things.
worries.
It's very rare to have a band to where a lot of the people in the band have this almost the same influences and they can bring something to the table. When you first started the band, how did it start, but how did you meet the folks that are really contributing to the band's sound and their lyrics? It's almost like I said, it's kind of hard to everybody to fall in place with the same vision, but I think you guys are doing it beautifully.
Yeah, well, we've always joked that we're like the Chicago Black Flag. Like, I started the band in high school, and like I'm the only member from when we started. Otherwise, we just like we're very much like a time and place band. Like, if you are like in the right time and if you're in the right place in your life where you can just like come and have fun, like come play with me. Like, our guitarist Jordan has been in the band for 10 years. He's my best friend. I met him in college. Like, so me and him are like the main driving influences of everything in the band. Like, a lot of it is our creative vision. And then right now we have Viaj on bass and Tony on drums and Phil on our second guitar. And they're from a band we used to play with all the time called Ugly Bones. And they broke up, and then they came and joined our band because we were looking for some new members because everyone else was kind of moving on with what they were doing. So we've like had a lot of ins, we had a lot of outs. Like, people just like swap in, swap out. Like, it's like a big friend group, and like whoever's ready and wants to play can play. Like, it's a good time, and it's constantly evolving. And we evolve with whoever we have, and we build with whatever we have. Like, sometimes we have like a death metal drummer, sometimes we have a more punk drummer, sometimes we have like a more thrash drummer, and it's like it really influences the sound. Like, it's cool because like when you see us, it's going to be different every single time, because like it's like the way we play is very much of who's with us in that night, and it'll influence the set list, and it'll influence how we play the set list.
That's very interesting. I don't think I've seen or heard of anything like that before.
Yeah, Green Jello kind of does it. But it's just like me and Jordan are always going to be in the band, and I really hope that the guys we have now are going to be in the band for the long run, because like I think right now is our strongest lineup we've ever had. And so we all work really well together, and we're all in right now. So I think right now we have a really tight group, and we're probably going to be on this lineup for a while. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, we're flexible.
And with the hardware you guys been putting out there, so you've been getting a lot of recognition lately. I've been noticing, actually on Facebook on your posts, where you're one of the ones I can tell is a new wave of thrash. Put you in the top 15 years best albums. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was that we put out a new record last June, Super Turbo, and it ended up on a lot of end of the year lists, and like that's crazy. Like, we're really grateful for that, and we really worked really hard on that album. So it's really cool to see the recognition, and like just we're glad people like it.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. It's one of my I've been killing the people talking to you. You got to listen to this album because you're not only going to be highly entertained, but it's you're going to really like the music to begin with. And with thrash, it's kind of interesting because I think I've been alive long enough where I saw thrash start, and I see it when it kind of ended, and it started again, and it kind of went neutral for a little while. It's like a Richter scale, but now I think it's hotter than ever. In your area, is that a thing now?
Yeah, we're trying to bring it back because, like, yeah, there was like the big '80s boom of thrash, and then there was like the new wave of thrash, like Municipal Waste in like the mid 2000s, and then it kind of flatlined in like 2010 and 2015 ish. But like, we're trying to bring it back. There's a lot of cool thrash bands right now. There's like us and Belushi Speedball, really good friends of ours. There's Wraith out of Indiana. They're doing really fucking good. There's Skulovich and Nemesis. There's like so many good thrash bands in the country right now. And like, I don't think a lot of them have like a huge following, but I think that they're going to see them more and more coming up in the years to come. I think there's going to be another big boom of thrash metal pretty soon.
I could totally see that. And when I was growing up, there's two kind of ways to find out about a good band. It's somebody would dub the cassette tape, let you borrow it, and somehow it would make its way in the underground, or you would go to a back then we had, I don't even know if they have these anymore. You could probably tell me, where they had these actual record store, but the used record stores, they had cassettes, and some of them still had 8 tracks in there somewhere, but every once in a while you come upon the metal section, and then you're there the whole day spinning the record, trying to get into something new. Now, with the advantage of the internet, I think now it's maybe a little bit easier to get fans, or at least have somebody give your band a chance.
Yeah, it's nice now because like we just got signed to a label like a couple months ago, so like we were really able to break through on our own, and like we were independent for 10 years, and like it was just ourselves grinding and like putting our name out there, and like everything that we did we worked for and we earned ourselves, like with our hard work and like our perseverance, and like it's really cool to be able to do that and just like grind away and like put yourself in front of all these people. And the internet is a really good way to do that, and there's a lot of really good like sources to do that with, like with Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Bandcamp or whatever the hell you listen to, like Spotify. Like a lot of people don't like Spotify because of how they pay like musicians, but like it's been really beneficial towards us because we're a smaller musician. We don't care about money. Like we're not in this to make money. We're in this to make music and have fun. So like as long as people are having fun and listening to our music, like I don't care. Like if it gets a way to put our name in front of someone's face, like that's why our name is Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre, because like you're not gonna forget it. Like there's so many band names that are so generic. They're like Death Blood or like Blood. Like it's just like everything is the same, and like just you gotta be goofy and you gotta embrace like your own personality. And I think we really do that.
Yeah, and connecting the wrestling reference from earlier, we're talking is you gotta have a good gimmick. And
No,
then you have that,
exactly.
it's gotta draw the people. Then once you have that good gimmick, they can watch you or listen to your band, and they're gonna be hooked right there.
Yeah, we try to just be like a jack of all trades. Like we have the music, we have the entertainment, like we have funny lyrics. Like if you don't like one aspect of it, you're gonna find something that you like. Our live show is fun. We have a lot of crowd interaction. We bring like inflatables and bubble guns, and we put people through tables, and like we do all this wild shit. And like you're gonna have fun even if you don't like our music. You're gonna the energy is infectious.
Okay, so with the whole, I don't mean to say anything. I want to say the act, but it's not an act. But the presentation of the band when they go on stage and do their thing. How long is it taking you guys to set that stuff up?
Oh, it's very much like it doesn't take that long because we're really just kind of going with the flow. Like we'll go to Walmart like day of and find some weird shit and be like, what's funny? What can we bring on stage tonight? And we'll just like go buy like a bunch of toilet seats or like a bunch of raw hot dogs. And then we'll just show up to the venue. We never ask to be like, hey, can we do this? We always say like, ask for forgiveness, not for permission.
Oh,
So like,
yeah.
So we're just going to do whatever we want. Like sometimes, like if we do like a wrestling thing, like if we're like quote unquote feuding with another band, like usually there's a little preparation in that. Like we'll talk to the other bands ahead of time. Usually there's like a little bit of a build, like we'll like cut promos on each other online, and like we'll be like behind the scenes we'll be like messaging each other and like setting up what we're gonna do and like kind of like creating a story or whatever, and like we'll try to plan out something a little bit more in depth that way. But a lot of it is just us riffing and like just like spur of the moment, whatever we think is funny at that particular time is what we're gonna do.
No, I kind of reminiscent there, and I'll tell you a quick wrestling story because I can go on all day. Back in my day, we were in this one town, and I was going to be involved in a hardcore match. Back then, when hardcore matches were kind of like just starting to become popular, not death matches, because I'm not doing the fluorescent light bulbs into barbed wire on fire, kind of like Combat Zone wrestling in the old days. But we were in this town, and the only place to buy anything was open. It was a Salvation Army. And the promoter gave us about $40. Find something because you're not going to break my tables and you're not going to break the VFW's table. So we went there. I think I came out with, I don't know, like 20 baking sheets. I don't know what else I put, but I know the coup de grace was a beautiful ironing board, which we just completely destroyed. It made a lot of noise. It's great, but you know, you got to work with what you have. And well, speaking about the performers on stage, wrestling, you know, a little wrestling thing in there with Toastmania, and
Yeah.
that is the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. What is Toastmania?
Toastamania is a long-running Chicago tradition where usually about once a year we'll throw a big festival and we'll call it Toastamania, and we'll bring in a bunch of bands that we think are cool that we want to put in front of a new audience, and we'll pick one of the bands that we're friends with, and we have our own custom title belt that we made, and it's real leather, it's real heavy, it's real metal. It's the Toastamania Heavy Metalweight Championship. And one band is the champion, and then we continue that storyline to the next year. Whoever wins the championship at one show will have to defend it at the next show. And I think we're like 7-time champions, but right now Nemesis is the champion. So coming up this year, it's going to be Toast versus Nemesis for the championship. And we got one coming up May 31st in Chicago. We always do it DIY style. So it's at like a skate park. It's really like, it's at an abandoned taqueria. Like it's really punk, like really like do it yourself. Like there's no venue. It's just like a big trailer with a built-in stage, and we party there from like 2 in the afternoon until like 2 in the morning. Like we have we draw like a couple hundred people, and like it's just a huge party. But we've had some huge bands play over the years. Like we've had Leeway play, we've had Lich King, Atrophy played one year, Cross Examination. During COVID, we were supposed to have Ghoul and Nunslaughter play, and then COVID canceled it. But like it's become a lot bigger than it when it started. It was just because like when we were up and coming, no one wanted to book us because like we were just like these shitty kids that were drunk all the time. Like we could barely play our music. Like we were just idiots, and so like no one would book us. So we were like, fuck it, we're gonna book our own shows. And so we just started booking ourselves, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's like this, like people know it. Like you can go ask like a lot of Chicago metalheads, you're like, you know what Toastamania is? And they're going to be like, yeah, I know what Toastamania is. And like, it's become like a countrywide thing. Like people travel from different states to come to Toastamania. It's a phenomenon. It's awesome.
Man, you know, and you said something there. You got to bet on yourself, man. Because sometimes if people aren't willing to give you the chance, then fuck it, do it yourself. That's what you got to do.
No, exactly, and that's always been our motto. It's like we're gonna do what we want if you like it or not. And like it's this is a band to entertain ourselves, and other people just happen to think it's cool, and like that's awesome. But like even if everyone hated it, we're still gonna do what we want to do. We're gonna have a good time.
And in the selection process for this event, how do you choose the bands? Is it something that's going to catch your ear real quick, or is it through recommendations from the fans or anything like that?
It's kind of both. It's kind of like bands that we've played with out of town. Like if we're like on tour or something, and we've had like bands that we've played with, and I was like, oh shit, you were really good. Like I want to bring you to Chicago so like more people can know you in Chicago. So like a lot of it is that it's like bands that I want people to know. Like these are bands that I've heard, or bands that I want to see play, or like bands that people like want to see. So like people will be like, hey, can you get this band for Toastamania? And I'll be like, okay, like I'll look into it, and if I dig it, like sure, like I'll book them. And it's very much like who is like on my list that year. Like I have like a big wish list of like bands I would love to have come, and then I'll ask them first, and then sometimes I'll just throw out feelers and be like, hey, does anyone want to play? And like I'll get a bunch of demos sent to me, and I'll pick out which ones I like, and we'll throw a big show, and we'll have a party.
And then what was and again for the listeners of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday that may have not been listening, but they should have. What is the date of that event for this year?
This year it's May 31st in Chicago at a place called Pilsen DIY. If you like Google it, I'm sure you can find the address. But we are announcing the headliner tomorrow on January 13th. So by the time this comes out, most of the lineup should be out already. Follow us on our Facebook page. You can see all the sweet bands we have playing. We got 10 bands this year. I got bands flying in from Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan, like all over the country. I got bands coming in. So
that's That's gotta be an awesome feeling now that you're making a now you say it's a tradition in your area. That's gonna feel pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Like it's extremely humbling. Like knowing like how this band started. Like literally just like it was a project for a high school class. Like I had a movie class, and we just made a movie about a fake band, and we just decided over the summer that we were going to keep playing music. And like I said, no one liked us when we first started. Everyone hated us. And just to see like how far we've come and like how much like recognition we have in the city is awesome. And like the city has given us so much that like Toastamania is our chance to give back. And so like we always try to put on the best show possible to give all the people everything that they've given us over the years. Like, here's our thank you. Like, come have a big fucking party with us. Like, we always charge like the bare minimum to get in. Like, I think we've never charged more than $10 for like an all day 10 band 12-hour festival. And like it's a great time. And like it's awesome seeing how big it's gotten.
Yeah, for something so big, I think the price is great because you can go to a lot of shows, even bands who, I mean, they've been around for a while, but I think some of these ticket prices, and I understand, I'm not trying to bitch about these things, but it can get kind of expensive.
Oh yeah, and like that's the thing is like we're not there to make money. We're just there to make sure the bands get paid, and then once the bands get paid, like that's it. We split all the money between the bands, and then we pay the venue. We'll rent a PA because there's no PA there, so we have to rent it, and like that's where all the money goes. It's not going to go into our pockets. Like we don't walk out like with wads of cash. Like we just don't. That's not what that's for. It's to have fun.
And that's true, but it comes a time where it's okay to make a little bit of cash, but that's why you have merchandise and things like that. So
exactly.
If I go to Bandcamp, you guys handle your own Bandcamp stuff too, right? Like for the merchandise. Yeah. So what's available there?
Right now we have a couple copies left of our new album on vinyl. We got some shirts and some beanies. You can get all of our music for free. We don't charge for our music on Bandcamp right now. But yeah, it's very situational what's on our Bandcamp because things sell out pretty quickly. So we try to keep it stocked as best as we can, but sometimes it's a little hard because like we've been picking up a lot of steam lately, so we've been selling a lot of stuff. So if you want something, buy it if you see it because it might not be available for a very long.
Awesome. Hey, and let me make a side deal with you. If when I order something to bank, can I get that autographed?
Yeah, there's like an option to like write in the notes, and if you just like write in the notes like, hey, can you sign this for me? Like we'll be more than happy to. It's just like sometimes people will like ask me and I will not remember because like I literally have like 100 orders sitting in my Bandcamp right now, and I have to like go do all of those. And it's like I'm not gonna remember which one asked me, but yeah, like if anyone wants to buy anything, and if you want us to sign it, or if you want anything special done with it, just tell us. We're more than happy to accommodate any of that. Like we're just happy that you're buying it, and like all the money that goes to goes back into the band. It helps us buy more shirts. It helps us go on the road for tours. It helps us get a van. Helps us get gas. Helps us get some food. So like, yeah, we're more than happy to like do whatever you guys need us to do.
Man, that's amazing. I love your attitude, man, and it matches the music because it's a lot of fun to listen to. And I actually, when I went to your Facebook page and I clicked on it, I thought I did something wrong because it says, "Are you sure you want to come into this Facebook page?"
Yeah,
what is that shit?
No, it's because our name has Massacre in it. So it's like flagged for like violence or something. And because sometimes we post like wrestling clips, so we get tagged as like violent. And so like we have no control over that. Like we've thought about changing it to just like TTCM or like spelling massacre incorrectly just so like it'll like not do that, but like we still get fans on there. Like it's not like hindering us at all, but there is a warning. Like just say yes.
That's what I did. Don't change anything, man. Just be you because that's what people love about you. Like you said earlier, don't ask for forgiveness at all. You just go out there and do it.
Yeah.
But I said don't ask for permission. Forget one of those things. You see how old?
Yeah. Don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, it's a lot of chair shots. That's what happens to you, man. So watch out for them tables, brother. But so with the songwriting process, because I find a lot of or like people call Easter eggs in there. There's
Hmm.
always something that kind of from pop culture that grabs at you. How do you? And I don't know how to write a song or anything like that, so I'm no expert. How do you? Where do you draw from, and how do you manage to say, okay, this is what I'm going to put in the lyrics because somebody out there will get the reference.
Um, it's kind of just like whatever we're vibing with. Like I'll watch a movie and be like, oh, like let's watch let's write a song about Jingle All the Way, or like video games, or like comic books, or like wrestling, or like whatever we think is cool. Like I love Godzilla, so we wrote a song about Godzilla, and like it's just like stupid shit like that. Or like me and Jordan are constantly text each other like whatever movie we just saw, or like old movie we rewatched, to be like, dude, we should totally write a song about like Die Hard, or like we should write a song about like Castlevania, or like any of like anything that we think is cool. We're gonna write a music about, because like that's what we're passionate about. And so like you're gonna, like, if you're passionate about something, that's where like the strongest creativity comes from. If you have like an actual desire to do it, and like we are passionate about pop culture, we love movies, we love video games, we love comic books, we're huge nerds. And so like that's where all of our inspiration comes from.
No, man, we're all nerds. A lot of metalheads, like it or not, they're all nerds too, man. It happens.
Yeah, we all are. So like fuck it. Why go on stage and just talk about like shit that's depressing? Like I love metal, and like I love a bunch of like very serious bands, but like you gotta just have some fun after every once in a while. Like I don't want to go up there and hear like 8 songs about war, or like a bunch of songs about like dying and killing people, and like yeah, that's cool and shit, but like you know what else is cool? Fucking Mario.
True, and and I mean, I like all kinds of stuff, but about dying and Satanism, that's all been kind of played out, which is okay. Like
Yeah,
give me a song about dragons and sorcery. You give me something about talk about boosters to shit gift. I want to listen to that.
yeah.
And so, with that being said, now I know you say you were working on some new material. You probably don't want to disclose any of it now. So let's talk about the record label. How did that deal come to?
So when we put out our last record, Super Turbo, we got a phone call from MAD Touring. They're an international touring label, and they hit us up and they're like, "Hey, we want to work together." And then I was like, "Yeah, sure, like let's work together." And then they asked if we had a label or not, and I said no, like we do everything independently. So they're like, "Oh, well, let's try to get you on a label." So we shopped around a little bit, and then we met with Andy from Dead Serious, and we really liked each other, and everything clicked, and he sent us an offer, and we agreed to it, and now we have a working relationship with each other, and they're the reason we have the new record coming out on vinyl, and we're like super stoked to work together with the new album, and like a couple albums after that, and it's really exciting for us.
It is, and when I heard you were got the record label, I was thinking, if you guys were around in my time, long, long time ago, I would probably put you in the old days of Metal Blade and Combat Records because that was the day when the good
Oh
stuff was
yeah,
coming out, man.
that's the dream, dude.
And yeah, so now going forward, you have these events are coming up. Toastamania is coming up, which is going to be the biggest thing ever in your area. What is not to divulge too much? What subjects will you be covering on the next album? What kind of stuff?
We really just started, so we're not really hammering anything down yet. It's just gonna be more goofy stuff, more video games, more movies. Like we have a list of some stuff, but like nothing. Like we literally have like a couple riffs written and a vague idea of like an album title, and that's really as far as we've gotten. Like we just started writing this record. It'll be out sometime next year, and that's pretty much as we know right now.
All right. Next year, time flies when you're having fun, as they say. Next year we'll be here and we'll have the new album. Now, with the style of music that you guys currently do, and I'm sure you will for the rest of your careers, because I mean, I would not stop it. Please, just keep playing. The stuff is awesome.
Oh
Have
yeah.
you have you been able to catch the ear or hear from any of the old school thrash bands or anything like that? Have you seen?
Oh yeah, I have. I've seen a lot of them actually. We were able to play with the Accused. Like that was really cool. Playing with the Accused. We played a show recently with Angry Corpses, which is a couple members of MOD from like MOD for USA, like that era MOD, and they all really loved us. We've gotten like messages from like the drummer of Converge, like Ben Kohler, like he really digs us, and like from like Baroness and like just like a bunch of musicians that like really look up to. Like we're good friends with Ghoul, and like that's awesome. Like Ghoul really likes us. Guar, like members of Guar like us, and like that's all we could ever ask for is like people I had posters of on my wall when I wrote our first EP. I have like contact with and like have told me that they know my music. Like I don't even know if they like it, but they know of it, and that's enough for me. Like that's awesome.
That's okay. Hey, you don't have to be liked as long as you're known. That means that's how you know you've made quite an impact, my friend. And now for the listeners of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, they want to learn more about you, your latest album, and get that merchandise top to bottom, my friend. Where can they find out about this information?
We're pretty active on Facebook. So like if you want anything, like all news is going to be dropped on Facebook and Instagram for sure. We have a Blue Sky. I don't really understand how to use that app. Same with Twitter. I don't get it. So like don't expect that much for them. Bandcamp is where you can get a lot of our merchandise. You can get all of our music on Bandcamp. We're on every streaming service like possible. So Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, like a bunch that I've never heard of. Like we're on there. So it's not hard to get a hold of us. Like Facebook is our main like source of information for the time being, just because we're millennials and that's what we grew up on. So like that's what we use. So yeah, but we're going to be hitting the road this year. So I hope to see you somewhere because like we're playing a lot of new places this year.
Awesome, man. And congratulations on the label deal and the upcoming Toastamania.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And one more thing, before I go, because
yeah,
you're a man that knows this music. If you were to give me a top 5 current thrash metal bands to look out for, what would they be?
Number 1, Belushi Speedball. Skulovich, Fulminator, Nemesis, and Condition Critical just got back together with their not original lineup, but like the lineup. So expect them to start coming in hitting hard again. I think those are the 5 to watch right now.
Excellent. And once the new album comes out next year, and I hate to wait for next year to have you back on, but if you don't mind, 2026, let's get you back on the show. Let's talk about that album. And let's talk about how 2025 went.
Yeah, of course. Just hit me up. You know how to get a hold of me.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you very much.
My friends, during the playback of this episode, I noticed that my microphone was not sounding so great, and I apologize to Macho Frost of Texas Toast, Chainsaw Massacre, and to you, the listeners, for the technical issue I was having, but I have something pretty awesome to play right now. This is I Want to Pet Your Dog by Texas Toast, Chainsaw Massacre.
This episode of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday is sponsored by Moonlight Monster Media, home of Dirt Road Tales of Horror.
From Moonlight Monster Media comes Dustin Grammer's debut as an author. Dirt Road Tales of Horror. Dirt Road Tales of Horror takes you on a terrifying ride through the southeastern United States, where ghosts, murderers, nightmares, and beasts lurk in the shadows, awaiting any brave or unfortunate enough to travel through their nocturnal domain. Prepare to be gripped by fear and fright should you dare decide to traverse these haunted and unhallowed roads.
All content on this broadcast is a property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster, or Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. The information shared on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.